What's up, midgets? Hello and welcome back to another Wednesday video. Today we're playing Tiny Bunny. This is a free-to-play game on Steam, link down below in the description, and it's actually more of a horror graphic novel rather than a game, but it did look pretty interesting, so I decided to give it a go. So without further ado, new game. Let's see what this is all about. From what I see, it's actually also kind of like a promo for a full game coming out. It's kind of like a demo. What am I seeing? Is this modern art? I understand nothing of art, help. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, whined in the air. They were shouting and laughing and arguing about something. Yeah, alright. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. You know what? Living in a house is like something that I genuinely cannot imagine at this point in my life. Maybe one day, but like, I don't know, it's just so foreign to me compared to living in an apartment complex. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. Or could they? It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12, after all. Oh, baby! Still. I gave a 12-year-old Was that a raccoon? I saw a raccoon there. Am I seeing things? Oh, baby. You know what? The art is actually really good. You can't really see the mother's face because of my webcam, which I feel like makes it even better, actually. Hey, put away your book! How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Oh, this game definitely takes place before computers were a thing. Good lord, mum. Oh, okay, hide the book. I don't know what all these buttons are, but I don't want to skip shit, so I'm not gonna press them. Hide. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. Oh, baby. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Olia had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. She does seem that way, doesn't she? Also, Olia, I guess that's why the game has Russian. I guess it's Russian. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it, so eat your jam! I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Oh, I thought it was jam. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. Breakfast. It looked like a jellyfish from the Coastal Odyssey. I don't know how to pronounce that. I love that show. Oh, it's show. Okay. I wonder how terrifying the bottom of the ocean is if you played Subnautica. Or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Sudden paralysis set in motion. Mum showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? Oh, my name is Anton. Alright. I'll get it, Mum. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this, carved on the other side of the table? Karina. Alright, it's Cyrillic. Ah, that's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. That's the floor, it's just a bunch of boards. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Yeah, that's parenting 101. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? or the sounds coming from the attic. Excuse me? Or the thick forest? Is the forest dummy thick or what's happening? Ooh, babushka. I imagined my babushka coming into my little mum's room, sitting at the edge of her bed, where Olia sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taiga is a special place, little girl. Soft voice, yes. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. Oh no, it's their parents querying. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. Ooh, baby. She had already bought a casket. And she called it her cute funeral box. Oh, dude, Babushka's a meme lord. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my Babushka was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with grey faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Olia was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a shy woodland critter. She kinda seems completely out of it though, doesn't she? I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed the picture on the glass. Dude, it's the goddamn raccoon. Olia, look, it's a fox. Or I guess, yeah, it could be a fox as well. Where? It looked almost like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit, and look under a certain angle, and then close your right eye, and then move the angle once more, and then close your left eye as well, and then you see that it's a dragon. Not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and here's... Hey, eat up! Yes, just a moment. Mother, I'm trying to be sophisticated with my little out-of-it sister. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is, but it still doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you it does. It does. Stop it, these kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. Oh yeah, it disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pattern, similar to stretched out nettle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. What's up, Papa? My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Dude, that is a manly man and you know it. Mom would always ask jokingly, come on, shave it off, it stings. Lol. This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Olia always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, what's the point in all this? Through the wall. It's all for your sake, Dad would reply, for the sake of our family. I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. Divorce. I don't even want to finish it. It's divorce. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my window. You and your owl talk again. Oh, I right-clicked accidentally. My bad. You and your owl talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl? There was no owl. But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Sweetie, that's the demons. Olia sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes, with her fingers the size of an apple each. Dude, she's got anime eyes and you know it, look at that. Last year you had Babai in your closet, and now this owl? What the... Oh, Babai sounds familiar to me, but I can't remember what it is. I know it's a Russian folktale. But I saw it. Olia shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mum to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olia pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway just like in an anime. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mum gave Dad a strict look. Alright, you know what, as I've mentioned multiple times before, this is a strictly professional YouTube channel, so that's why halfway through the video, I have moved my webcam on the bottom. Just so I can show you how angry Mum is. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on incredibly worn out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects, by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Oof. Not with glue. Mum moved to the living room and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. What the fuck? Olia had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Oh, I see. Fucking excuse me? That's not an owl. And then Olia said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. Now it looks like an owl, but a second ago I didn't see that as an owl. I saw that as a tiny bunny. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? If they're real, yeah. Dreams are a powerful weapon, dude. Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out using a template. You guys remember the cardboard cutouts of Danny DeVito? That's what I just imagined. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their bloody shoes? What's happening in Russian schools in this game? Damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to get there that badly. Or to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of a monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olia begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "Got the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. I imagined my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? Bruh, it's just glasses. It's okay. I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mum. Exactly, that's kind of how it works. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. See, that's what I mean. I'm used to all of that static noise in the background, and if I just move to an empty, quiet house where you can just hear the floorboards creak, I'm gonna go insane. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family, with their ashen eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning, the attic was occupied by nosy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. What a peculiar word to use. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Open! It's so bright though. What the fuck am I witnessing? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. I mean, one of them could be a wolf. I could also make out a fox. I think that's a bear. No idea what kind of a Pokemon that one is, though. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. My ears. Jesus. Suddenly, the music stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. Dude, I'm telling you, those are fucking Pokemon, look at them. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Oh, fuck that. I don't like it. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch-black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me! A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guest move and scrape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with the blanket as if it could protect me. I also did that as a child. Foolproof, it does protect you. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my babushka laying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my babushka's casket. Ugh. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. What the kind of an imagination do you have, child? I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the inside of Buyan, underneath the blemished sun in the sea of colored blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair, for the spawn from Devil's Lair. To feast and always leave alone, God's faithful servant named Anton. That's pretty cool rhyme. I wonder if it's a real thing or made up for the game. Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It actually kind of sounds like a witch's spell, if you think about it. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. Seriously? I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intensely, as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. Ooh. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drew the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then the doorknob twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. Oh, baby. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear, my wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the thin drains. Now you see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Tony. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me,